All right, today we're going to be talking about seeking perfection and why seeking perfection is a real productivity killer. So it's totally okay not to be perfect. Nobody is. And this is why it's totally okay not to be perfect. I mean, I get it. We all want to look good when we go out. We all want to make a good first impression at work with our boss, with our teammates, with our presentations to our stakeholders. It's our future that it's in our hands. And we want things to be perfect. I totally get it. The problem with trying to be perfect is that we are our own worst critics, and it prevents us from moving forward. We know we could do better, and we strive to do things right. We don't want to disappoint our bosses, our families, our friends, our significant others. But little we know that when we seek perfection, we inevitably stop real, meaningful progress. And what we do actually is we trade it in for what I call perceived progress. You may be wondering, what is that? What is perceived progress? And the progress that we make, that we keep to ourselves, that never sees the light of day. We perceive it as progress, but really nobody else knows about the progress that we're making other than ourselves. In the eternal road to get that perfect article written, the perfect equipment, that perfect PowerPoint presentation, or just gathering that championship winning team, we will miss on the opportunity of getting what you currently have done thus far and giving it a shot. That's the cost of opportunity for not putting what you have done already, just putting it out there for people to see, for people to appreciate it. So simply put, what we have worked in progress and we don't share it with others, we end up not adding value at all to absolutely anybody. And the only one we end up disappointing, it's ourselves. Granted, the impact of inaction and perceived progress is much greater than that. And you may ask, how? Well, when you can't reach that level of perfection that you're looking for, you're going to get stressed. You will feel undoubtedly unfulfilled. It is really hard to constantly be seeking a level of perfection, and it is hard mentally and emotionally. It's draining. Seeking perfection will also hamper your creativity because you're just not allowing yourself to try new things and fail. You're looking for everything to be perfect, so you're not willing to experiment. And with that, it decreases the risk taking that you're not willing to waste valuable time on experimenting on new things. And the problem with that lack of experimentation is that you will never learn anything new unless you try those things out. So I have personally struggled with this for a good bit in my corporate life when I was asked consistently to make presentations to leadership on a topic that I dominated. But the problem was that I didn't have the knowledge to develop that perfect PowerPoint presentation, right? So I struggled for years to make a presentation that was visually appealing. And more than once, I have failed to finish up my content because I was trying to get into that perfect state before I presented to leadership. Mind you, I had the time, I knew what I was talking about too, but I have always found something that could have been done a little bit better. It was either the slide that it could have been a little bit prettier, or a font that could have been more readable, or a lot of content in one particular page that I had to downsize to 3 bullet points. It was always something. So you get the idea, right? Now the point is, how do you go about breaking that cycle? So the easiest way to avoid all the problems that come along with seeking perfection is just to avoid procrastination altogether. Just become more comfortable with an iterative approach where you simply put out there the best working version of what you're currently working on, and don't wait till it is fully complete, ready, and perfect. So with that said, I know that at times perfection matters, right? Particularly when you're about to make a presentation to leadership. You can't bring, a PowerPoint that is supposed to be 120 slides and you bring just 3, you're going to get killed. So what I'm talking about is maybe just get all the slides, get all the skeleton done, work on the content, but don't wait to present to your boss, for example, and get it a pass till it is fully fleshed and 100% complete. Just get the first version in, make sure you have the structure right, make sure you have the content right, the visuals, whatever that might look like, and then just go back and finish it up. Just basically don't wait till you have all your ducks in a row. It will delay your growth, literally. Every day that goes by, and you're not taking action, it will compound over time. So here's some tips to stop procrastinating and enable your own growth. Okay, show up as you are, present the best version of yourself, and be vulnerable. Showing vulnerabilities could be magnetic to some people. Showing you also struggle will show that you're also human, and people would be able to relate to you at a much deeper level. Number 2, you can enable rapid prototyping. Define and create the simplest version of what you're trying to accomplish and get it in front of your stakeholders, your boss, your clients, your wife, whatever that might look like. They will provide you with an opportunity to experiment safely and understand how your clients react to your offer, and then you can adapt your offer for a better outcome. Rapid prototyping accepts literally imperfection and embraces feedback at the very core to allow your offer to match your audience needs and wants in a much more efficient way. However, remember, this is not an allowance to put a crappy offer out the door. Find out what is your MVP, your minimum viable product first, which is to comply with the minimum expectations, and they grow from there. Number 3 is take action. Avoid procrastination and don't wait for perfection to get your word out. Don't waste any more time. It is the only thing that you cannot buy back, so use your time wisely to get feedback as soon as possible. Number 4, give yourself grace and know your worth. Creativity and productivity evolve through working imperfections, so start with accepting that your work, your company, your products will be ever evolving. At a minimum, that's the way that it has to be to meet your ever evolving market. Like, they're going to be changing their needs, so you're going to have to change as well. Acknowledging this and accepting yourself is literally the first step towards a much more rewarding approach to delivering your products and services, and it will result in lowering your stress levels and a happier, more rewarding life. Remember, if you're constantly seeking perfection, you're really not acknowledging how good and worthy all this stuff that you're actually working on really is. Number 5, perfection is subjective. Accept yourself for who you are. What you may see and what other people may see may be totally and absolutely different. Even when you're trying to perfect something that in your eyes may be totally unfinished or not perfect, it might just be perfect for somebody else out there. So accept yourself in where you are in the moment that you are. Accept yourself for who you are. And even though you will be your own biggest critic, the world will accept you for who you are. You should too. So I'm going to leave you with this. Be vulnerable. Acknowledge it's just a journey, right? And you are at some stage in that journey. But go ahead and take action to overcome the needs for perfection. Give yourself grace and acceptance to yourself. This way, you will get unstuck from seeking perfection and you will be able to start delivering value to your clients right away. And even if your content or offer may not be 100% ready, it will be much better than not having delivered anything at all, right? Just look at this podcast, for example. It's just not perfect, right? The image is still, the video is still, the audio is repurposed, but there you go. If I need to wait till I can record this in a studio, this will launch in 2048. I don't have the luxury of time, and neither do you. So go ahead, give yourself grace, but more important than anything, go ahead and take action today. Thank you for listening.